Good afternoon everybody, Ocean Reed here from In-House Publishing and also the client manager for Susan Ball, author of Universal Life Lessons. Today we are here to talk about the bringing to life of this book, Universal Life Lessons. Susan, tell me about it. What is it? What are they?
Universal Life Lessons, well, it's actually the legacy of my daughter, Anna Rose Paas. Anna had 29 amazing years on this earth, and while she was here she had a rare disability, but she never saw it. And the lessons are from exactly that. Living life to the full and being able to, regardless of what your circumstances are, to make the most of your life. And it's a very powerful message.
One of the things that most authors reflect on once they've gone through the publishing journey is looking back on what inspired them to do this. This is a pretty obvious question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What inspired you?
Oh my goodness. After Anna passed away, it was the emotion, the grief, but you know, the most important thing was, what did Anna leave? What's her legacy? And so many people ask me, how did Anna live as long as she did? And she had such a good quality of life. She really had a great life. And with such a rare chromosome abnormality, no one had lived to adulthood. And as I say, she passed away at 29. So focusing on the positive was, what did she leave that I could pass on to others? I was just going to write a few words, and then suddenly 60,000 words later, there it was. The actual book just created through my fingers the story of her life.
Quite interesting you say that. I'm going to go on a tangent a bit. I was interviewing somebody this morning and they said that once you're in the focus and the flow of writing, it's like a mug of words being poured onto your head and it just transpires through your body. Is that how you found it?
Oh, absolutely. It was the most amazing experience because it's the first time I've written a book. It was also the first time that I had such a deep desire to see exactly what was in front of me just coming out. It was a bit like a painting. I was just painting a picture. And it was my daughter's life. And she had an amazing life. And more importantly, the lessons from her life just came. Once again, as I wrote, the lessons just automatically appeared.
I want to talk about that for a minute. But first, you're now published. The book is out there in the marketplace. It's available online on a global level. What has the feedback been since its release?
It's been phenomenal. In fact, it's been overwhelming. I launched it in Sydney, and it was to many families who were asking the question, what happened to Anna? Is there something that can help us on our journey? And when I delivered the presentation, the families were so engaged. In fact, the session had to be stopped because there were so many questions. And afterwards, it was just affirming, I have done the book to make a difference to others, and Anna's legacy lives on. And I believe now that is what I'm going to be doing, bringing it to other families, to other people, and it's a broader scope. It's every one of us. You know, how can we be the best?
Very true. We've just recently embarked on the book review program with Universal Life Lessons, and unbeknown to you, you've seen the 2 reviews that have come back, but I've never had reviews come back so quickly. To get 2 5-star reviews in less than a week was phenomenal from my perspective. To have somebody outside of Australia, totally independent, how did that feel being them come through?
Oh, I was elated. I was already happy with the launch, the responses. Plus I've had testimonials, people that whilst I was writing the book, I asked them, would you mind looking at it and giving me feedback? Just so whilst I'm doing it, I know that there's others on my journey as well, but I'm more or less saying, yes, it's really good, or perhaps you could do it a different way. In fact, the feedback was the same. Susan, that is telling an authentic story. It's a narrative. It's moving. It's written from the heart, and it's authentic. And of course, when it does come from the heart, it can't be anything else.
And that's very interesting because, like, when it goes through the publishing process and it hits the hands of our editors and our designers, I get some very authentic feedback, and it's not to say that some books aren't up to standard or some are. It's just interesting to see the emotional connection it has with the staff, because they're to be analytical, they're to be focused on the job. And again, another remarkable quality during your journey was how you and your writing and the life lessons that were told in the story evoked a lot of emotion. And you ended up connecting with quite a few of the staff here. I hope you found that experience enjoyable.
It was wonderful. And I think everything in life is about those connections. Wherever you go, I believe that's what makes us the best humans we can be. You know, just to come and say I'd like to publish a book, that wasn't the purpose. And it was about, it's a community. We've now got a community. And I know Anna would have been extremely pleased, because one of her wishes, and it was a very profound lesson in her life, was that she wanted to bring community together. And wherever we work, we touched community.
What is your vision, your overall vision for the book? Where's it going to go?
I wanted to make a difference to every person that reads the book, that they feel that it actually has enabled them to be better, to feel more confident, to have fulfillment, to have more meaning in their life, and to actually just know that they can be the best they can be and reach their full potential. It's amazing how just one conversation or one lesson can really resonate. And what I often find is when I'm talking to people, I pluck one of the lessons and suddenly they go, oh, that is so relevant to what I'm doing today. Thank you so much. I can now get back on course.
And that's the whole premise with the universe and having the right message aligned at the right time, the synchronicity of the whole thing, and nobody knows that better than you. Really.
Exactly. There's 85 universal life lessons. Anna was born in 1985, and it just happened, and it was very much a natural connection. And that synchronicity is throughout the whole book, and also the connections are happening all the time. So I'm just trusting now that the book is going to be a bestseller, that it's going to change people's lives, and that it will be Anna's legacy.
To think what you've achieved, and I will get on to the last question if I have a minute, but there's one remarkable thing that we need to talk about. You've broken a record that you guys out there don't know about, but I'm about to share with you. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I believe it was May you came to the presentation here, and you went, okay then, I'm going to do this. And in a space of 8 weeks, Susan managed to write the book, go through a thorough edit, and that review process was very intensive, to have the whole book designed and go through several preview stages, proof copies to print.
That's right.
Never in my life have I ever published a book in 8 weeks, so congratulations Susan, you're the winner. But ever since I've told other people this, now they're trying to beat you. Well, I don't encourage writing a book in 8 weeks, and I will have to say the only reason I feel that it has worked the way that it has is because of what the topic is, where the energy and inspiration has come from for you to write this, and your natural personality and energy that comes into this office, that comes into this building, that comes into other people's lives. That's what's made the book a success now. And with you've only recently launched, to read the email you sent me about how well the launch went, the sales figures you reached, the ongoing responses, I have to say that you have stepped outside of the norm with authors and their successes, and I think that it's only the beginning of this book. Final question, what is next for Susan? And I want the whole shebang, tell me a lot.
Well, I'm very determined.
I know this guy. I learned that in 8 weeks.
And during this journey, for me, having written and accomplished things, I want to take it forward. And the next step is to be a global leader. The only way to do that is to go global. So I'm about to leave on Tuesday, go to Europe. I start off with my France trip, and then to Greece, Italy, and then on to England. And in each of those countries, it's about touching people's hearts, making connections, trusting in who I'm supposed to meet on the journey, which is one of the lessons, and really knowing that it's absolutely the right chapter for me going forward. After that, I return to Brisbane. I'm here for a short time, then I'm going to go to Miramar, which is a place where it's very spiritual, very authentic, and I want to experience life and hardship and just see it from a perspective of, once again, affirming the lessons that Anna brought, that I can once again globally really appreciate the fullness of life. I really want to do that now and take this book with me on my journey.
Universal Life Lessons, the website is there, .com, go ahead, get your copy, it's on Amazon. The ebook is currently in review at the moment, so that will be live as well. Support Susan's journey to share the Universal Life Lessons. Thank you very much, Susan.
My pleasure. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.